Servus, Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. The far left German news outlet Der Spiegel has learned nothing from recent scandals, from people that were exposed, journalists that worked for them, that lied and lied to the people. They have not learned a thing. They are still continuing to do the same old thing. They're smearing the president of the United States and they talk really, really bad about him and about the entire nation. Anti Americanism is a thing among the German left. And while I do not agree myself with many things that the USA, or at least the powerful people who control the USA, are doing in the world, these anti American reflexes that are directed not against the elites, but against the good people, the common people in the United States. These these reflexes among the German left, I find them very appalling, but they are celebrated in these newspapers, in these news magazines like Der Spiegel. And I want to present to you today one more disgusting example of lies, smears, and disinformation that is coming from this corner. There is a guy, link in the article or link to the article can be found down below in the description or the first comment. And that guy apparently is living in Washington as a correspondent and he's writing about the US. Maybe he was sent there just to cover the election, I don't know. But either he cannot speak English properly and has problems understanding what's going on, or he's lying. Yeah, I think it's you know it's I think his English is fine. Let's put it this way. So, what has he written? There are a couple of things in this comment. Of course, he comments about President Trump tested positive for the China bug. And his comment, well, he says, oh, there shouldn't be any Schadenfreude now, right? But he is doing exactly that. So, not too clever, but I want to call out some lies, some smears, and some disinformation that is in his article, in his comment. So, first, he says that Donald Trump systematically downplayed the severity of the disease and that he is an outright science denier, that that he claimed that this is just an invention, a fabrication of the Democrat Party to steal the election. Of course, he doesn't give any sources, he doesn't provide any evidence for that. He doesn't even try to, in a sentence or a short paragraph, try to explain what he is basing this on, what Donald Trump has said or something. He's just building on all the lies that were told about the president in Germany before that. This is so, yeah, it's kind of convenient for these people. There are so many lies in the German media that they can just take these things for granted. They know that the German population was fed these falsehoods before, so they don't have to make up things anymore. They can just build on the fact that the Germans are thoroughly misinformed to begin with. So I just want to ask here, someone who wants to close the country, someone who wants, and I mean the borders by that, not the economy like the Democrats want, someone who very, very early on, when certain Democrats still said, oh, have a party in Chinatown to show that you're not a bigot, when he wanted to ban Chinese people from traveling, temporarily, of course, until we know how severe this is. Is this the suggestion of a man who downplays it systematically, or someone who is making sure that hospitals have enough ventilators, that they have enough masks, who wants to provide all the help and is pushing to that the industry and the researchers work on a vaccine fast enough. And I'm not saying that these things make sense. I'm just putting it out there. These are the things that Donald Trump did. Is that Are that the actions of a man who systematically downplays it to the point where he says it's just an invention, it's a hoax or something, which this wannabe journalist claims in his article that's full of lies? No, of course not. If you look at the track record of Donald Trump this year, he hasn't downplayed anything. If you look at the official numbers, CDC or Robert Koch Institute in Germany or what have you, the official numbers, they tell you this thing is, yeah, it's, as I said many times before, I repeat myself, yes, people die from it. It's definitely something you should take seriously, but it's not the end of the world, okay? It's not super dangerous, yeah? And the fact that the president is infected now doesn't mean anything. I mean, it might be bad for him, yes, but it still doesn't change the severity or the relevance of that disease for the economy, for an entire nation, for the measures that a government should take as a response. You shouldn't overreact, and this is what they're doing right now. They want to destroy the economy, and that is because there is an election this year. It's very plain to see, very easy to see. And by the way, this is a news outlet, Der Spiegel, that praises Angela Merkel for her measured response. Now, what Angela Merkel said in the beginning, that this is not a danger, that there is no danger. Then Angela Merkel said that masks don't work, that you shouldn't wear a mask, that the mask actually causes more harm than it does good. These were Angela Merkel's words. And this guy now from Der Spiegel says that Donald Trump is not listening to the experts, he's not listening to the scientists, but he's following his gut feeling instead, you know? And the good Democrats, oh, they listen to the experts, of course. Yeah, hug a Chinese person, party in Chinatown, right. And by the way, it is worthwhile, or it is totally just, one is justified to state or to remind people that even the experts are saying this in this week and they're contradicting themselves in the next week. Yeah, okay, you can say, well, we have new findings now, new yeah, new information has come to light, whatever. But saying that Donald Trump said something in April, when we also didn't know what was the case back then, is not really fair. But since when is Der Spiegel, who employs professional liars and is not even shy about it and has learned nothing, what would they know about decency or about transparency or about fairness in reporting? Yeah? So that is the first point, right? That they claim Donald Trump systematically downplayed the disease. Without any sources, I don't find any evidence Donald Trump actually responded very decisively when he was one of the first ones who wanted to shut down the borders, right? In European countries, they wanted to shut down the borders, close the borders only when when the pathogen was already spreading in the country, so when it's not effective anymore. So they were slow. President Trump was fast, but of course he couldn't do it. And the next lie then is that he mocked Joe Biden for wearing his mask correctly or for consistently wearing a mask. Now, that is an absolute lie. If you and I watched the debate live, if you watched the debate, Donald Trump made very, very clear that he mocked Joe Biden and the Democrats for wearing the mask when the cameras are pointed on them, but nobody is close to them. Yeah, he even exaggerated. He said like very, very big distance. I don't remember the number, like 250 yards. I don't know. But a very large distance, right? When nobody is close to you, and then you wear the mask because you know that a camera is pointed on you. And that is, of course, hypocrisy. That is just virtue signaling, using the mask as some weird fetish to communicate, look, I care or something. But when everyone around you is tested regularly anyway, and when it's kind of your own family, if you wish, or people you work together with regularly and they're all tested and nobody is very close to you, yeah, you can still get infected, of course. Yeah, it's not a 100% guarantee that you don't get infected, but the mask doesn't make a lot of sense in these situations then. And he said, yeah, he wears it, yeah, but it's a personal decision and it's a case to case decision. And when nobody is close to you, it doesn't make sense to wear the mask. And by the way, I said that before, in Germany also and in Europe, a lot of the ruling class members, a lot of the leftists, the social democrats, and these people, they wear the mask when there is a press conference or when there is an interview. But when they think that not they're not on camera, then they never wear one themselves. Never. And there were some yeah, embarrassing scenes, some little scandals that came out, like when our president was on vacation, he hugged people, the locals there, and he didn't wear a mask. Then there was a party of the SPD somewhere in North Rhine-Westphalia. I think that was an election party or something. Nobody was wearing a mask. They were all in a pub or in some party room or some party area where they were watching the results of the election. Nobody was wearing a mask. Yeah, and these people are judging others now. This is purely a fetish. It's like, oh look, I'm holier than you are. I'm justified in being here on this planet because I wear a mask, and you are an evil sinner. You don't wear a mask. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The effect of the mask is teeny, teeny, tiny. It's more, yeah, it has an effect, but it's tiny. Doesn't matter. We can disagree on that, but I hope you can all agree that was what this guy who's in Washington right now, I guess, what he's writing is absolute garbage. These are lies. This is misinformation, disinformation. Actually, it is yeah, once more trying to lie to the German people, because when you would talk to German people who only read German news and who don't get their news from alternative sources, they think that Americans are completely insane, that they're absolute nut jobs, and they're totally irrational, and you can't possibly understand their decision process and what they're doing. Why do Germans think, or many Germans think, that Americans are complete nut jobs? Well, because they're systematically being lied about America. When you read these things, as someone who actually watches these debates in live on TV, who actually reads um, also American news sources, and who gets some real information, and who does all the research on all the background and listens to the speeches and reads through the transcripts what people actually said, and not just some little quote mining and some sound bites here and there, but actually reads about the background, then you can see that Die Zeit or Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, Die Welt, Spiegel, they're all spreading lies. Yeah, the good Democrats who listen to the scientists, and the unhinged and crazy Republicans, absolutely insane what they're writing. Yeah, I'm not too big a fan of either those camps, but it is very clear in this election um, who is being lied about by the media. That, I mean, that is clear. And I reported on all these things already back then, when this very, very notorious, very, very um, yeah, big liar, when he was unmasked, I reported on that. So I mean, this is not on this level. I also recently reported about a female who is spreading lies from the US about the election, and this is just the next little step. I mean, this is the next little guy, the next wannabe journalist who is writing this nonsense about the United States. And yeah, of course, as I said, I mean, the Germans, they didn't listen to the debate. They don't know what Trump has done, what Trump has said. They're just fed these little opinion pieces, these little bits of information without any sources, without any background, without any explanation. Actually, you see very pretty, very beautifully here, as I said, how this article is already building on the lies that were previously told to the German people. So they're building this whole house of lies, and they already know what they can build on when they add the next level, because they told the lies themselves in previous weeks and months. So they know the misinformation that the Germans have received already. Pretty sick, pretty crazy when you think about it. But yeah, I think they have nothing to fear, because if they don't tell these bold lies like this guy did, this Klaas Relotius guy who was making up interview partners that didn't even exist, and making up events that didn't even exist. I mean, these are very bold lies. But these people, they're just, Trump systematically downplayed it. That can mean anything. I mean, but if you really stick to the meaning of that. He downplayed it. Well, look at the numbers. Did he really downplay it? How many people are in hospital beds? How many people have died? It's not that much. It's absolutely comparable to the flu, as I always say. And nobody has ever shut a border or yeah, shut down the economy and closed businesses over a flu. Not that I have heard of, at least. All right. So I just wanted to inform you. I think I should end this now, but I just wanted to inform you guys, especially in the United States, about German media again trying to make the president, but also America, because they voted for this president, right? By smearing the president and making him look like a complete lunatic, they also make the Americans, or a big part of the Americans, look like lunatics in the eyes of the Germans who believe this nonsense. Okay, so this is how this left-winged globalist media, how they are, yeah, spreading lies about the United States, about the Americans, about the president in Europe, in Germany. So, just so you guys know why some Europeans think that you're all crazy, well, because they're lied to. Okay, that's the quick answer. Servus, Kameraden.